Megan from Popcorn Talk. How are you guys doing today?
Good. How about you?
So far, so good. This is a really cool setting for an interview. I'm excited.
Yeah, I feel like it's never been done quite like this.
Not quite like this, so I'm really looking forward to it. So just talking about how something like this has never been done, what was it like filming this movie? Because this is a completely new style of filmmaking.
Right. I think everybody's familiar with a found footage film at this point. Obviously starting with like things like Blair Witch and evolving into what we see nowadays. I think what makes this film different is because it takes place on the desktop, it feels a little more modern because I don't think people really have handheld cameras anymore. Everything is cell phone, it's webcam, it's things like that.
Improv was a huge part of the script for this. You guys were able to create your own characters essentially. I was wondering how much of the characters were your creations versus what was on the page.
I think like for me it was like sort of a 50-50 thing. Like on the page was a kid that knew a lot about computers and was like kind of facilitating this like tech aspect of it. And then the other half was sort of me like what kind of shit kid exists in the world, like a kind of a brazen sort of person. So I kind of brought that in uh, to couple it up with the tech guy.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, Val was very much written as being a total goody two shoes and really stuck up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I think once we got into filming, we really realized how much of a mean girl she is and how much more vindictive, and she's a little bit trashy.
That was another thing I was going to ask was both of your characters or everybody in this group has done some shady things. Did that make it hard to connect to them or was the setting, did that make it really easy to connect to these people?
I think the connection was, I don't think it was difficult with what we were presented with. We were all tapped into together and we were all right there being able to talk to each other whether we were rolling or not, and I think it just allowed us to like hang out and kind of be people. And then so when we started rolling, we were already just being people. We just had to put the character on top.
Right.
This film has a lot to say in terms of social commentary on the way that we communicate and on cyberbullying in general. What do you guys want people to take away from this film?
I mean, I think the thing with cyberbullying is I know that's going to be the most talked about, issue with this film. And it's really, I think cyberbullying is a huge problem. I think it's very timely that this film is coming out. But at the same time, bullying can happen on any platform. I think this is just what it's taken on in a modern age. But, people have always been picked on. I just think this film really shows a new way that it's happening.
Yeah, I don't think there's a specific moral that we as people were trying to adhere to. I think people will take away their own morals or their own lessons based on what experience they, sort of agree with the most. So it's not like we weren't being activists, but I think because it is a thing that is pertinent right now, people will read into it and make their own conclusions, which is ultimately the best. But I feel like as a film, the only thing it really does is serve as like a reflective possibility of like this is a thing that can happen in a worst case. Like you take the supernatural out of it, and like these are things that can happen with people using the internet incorrectly.
Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Thank you.
Thanks.